What is going on? Y'all already know it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Y'all know what that means. Another episode of Comic Relief. I'm excited. I hope y'all excited because I know today is going to be an amazing show. And you know what? Let's just get into it. Yo, what is going on?
What's the word?
Big Skeme in the building once again. What's going on, my brother? How you feeling?
Oh man, another lovely Tuesday.
You already know. Another lovely Tuesday in Comic Hood Paradise.
That's right.
And right. Today I'm excited, man. We got an amazing guest with us today. Somebody who even, not only brought amazing music to the culture, but also started a trend, man, a fashion trend, had people dressing up. You know what I mean? Like that's next level right there that, you don't even see today. You don't even see that no more. It's just, those are very select few people who could pull that off. And that gentleman is one of them. And we have him here today. So you know what? Let's not keep talking anymore. Let's bring the man in. Y'all already know Kwamé. Show some love, man.
Yo, what up?
What's going on, my brother? Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you.
Thank
you. Doing good today. Hope everything is well by you.
Yes, this is Tuesday. I call it Toy Tuesday.
Yes.
This is I usually post like all the new drops that I get on Tuesday. So it's a good day. It's a good day.
There you go. That's what's up, man. That's what up. Shout out to everybody who's hanging out with us in the chat. Let's just go through the chat, see who's still chatting it up in here real quick. Who we got here? We got Unruly Simeon. What's going on, brother? Always in the building, showing love. Of course, we got No Good Comics, the homie Justin. Salute to you. I just made Justin a wrench, you know what I mean? So for all you sex bots and all you trolls and scammers that be all in my chat, watch out, son. Justin got your number, baby. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't messing with me no more like that. And then shout out to the homeboy Paul Morris, PJ. That's the other half over here of Comic Relief. And, of course, one of my homies, part of the Four Horsemen, of course, of this comic community. So salute to you, my brother. Another wrench, so y'all better watch it. You know what I'm saying? I stacked up on my wrenches, man. Y'all be playing with me in my chat. So salute to DJ Links. What's going on, man? Appreciate you. Check out DJ Links' show. He got a cool little show. It's about battling with MCs, and these MCs are actually comic collectors. So that's what got a little twist to it. So it's pretty cool watching it when you see comic collectors. Never knew they even rhyme, and they're in here battling each other. It's amazing. It's funny as hell. But let's see who else we got here. Salute Leroy, man. What's good, my brother? Salute to you. Always coming through, showing love. We got, of course, Brandon, Comics Kings. Make sure you check out his show as well. He always got a great creator on. And, of course, we got Big John. What's good?
Big John.
Salute, man. Always coming with that heat. Always got that heat. What we got here? We got Raging Cajun. What's going on, George? Salute to you, man. Appreciate you once again for having me over on Sunday, man. Great time, brother. Great time.
I wasn't invited. What was going on there?
You forgot? You forgot? It went down on Sunday.
You didn't get that memo?
You didn't get that memo, bro? You didn't get it? What happened? We got, of course, another aficionado, Moonlit Comics. What's up, Michelle? Holding down the ladies for the comic community as usual. And, of course, we got the other homie up in here. We got Big Sove. What's going on? Always Sove. Love him. The brother's opinionated. I think even more opinionated than me, which is I'm hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, man. And Uncanny Swag with the dopest handle out here. Love that Uncanny Swag. Always coming through. Of course, who else we got? We got the architectural form panels and columns. Whoa, damn. You got all geometry on me, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's up, though. That's what's up. He's spitting math, son. And, of course, we got Rage. What's going on? Salute to Rage Steel, who's another wrench. See, I'm full of wrenches up in here today. Y'all ain't playing with me. Damn sex bots. Y'all better not be messing with me, man. Salute to, of course, we got the homie. What's going on?
DJ
Wiz. What up, Wiz?
Big Wiz in the building. Salute. Definitely got to have that part 2. I know we're going to have you here soon, my brother, so I can't wait to do that again because
Wiz hooked this whole thing up.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say, man, shout out to Wiz for making this happen. He made this connection, so salute to Wiz because, man, that brother's a real deal right there. And y'all better make sure everybody y'all that I'm posting up here, everybody who's in this panel, y'all better be following them. better be following them. All right, hit them up. Everybody's and the people in this interview, their link is in the description. So make sure y'all follow them if y'all ain't following them. And if you ain't following them, you know what to do, right? Grab that comic book next to you and slap yourself 30 times, bro. Because y'all should know better. Y'all should know better, man. And of course, shout out Back Issue Paulie. What's good? What's good, Kwame? What you was gonna say?
You know, I wanted to do something. Like my studio is like literally the next room over, and I know that we're gonna be talking comics. So give me 1 second. Just keep talking.
No, let's go. We're gonna keep going. So definitely we're gonna give a little more shout out who we got in the building. Everybody's talking to each other. I mean, this is amazing, man. I love the way everybody's in here showing love. We already got 17 people in the building hanging out with us. Thank you to y'all that are hanging out. Oh, you did your pickup.
Yeah. This is my pull box for the
right. For the week. We got to see that. And for those who don't know, I know, Kwame, you had stated you're a DC head, which, you know,
I'm technically I'm a comic
head, but you like the DC.
But technically, I lean toward DC.
It's all right.
Only for certain reasons, but
it's okay. We'll bring you to the dark side, man. Don't worry about it. We'll bring you over to the dark side. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. He said it right here. There's a pool list. That's what I'm talking about, right? Kenny, he pulled out a stack, son. You know, yo, shout out to Joel in the building. Salute to you, man. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, man, real quick before we get into it, guys, shout out to everybody who's hanging out with us. Let's do a quick cheers.
Cheers.
Y'all already know in the chat. If y'all got y'all drink, get y'all drinks up. Salute to everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Stay blessed. And cheers to everyone, man. And let's just have a great show today, man. I'm excited. Of course, we got the brother Kwame, very influential brother in the culture, very slept on brother, because the brother has put a lot of work in the hip hop community. And of course, there's a lot of people on here who might not know who Kwame is, you know, because of course they're not from the era, you know, which is okay. So that's why I do these shows, to reintroduce them to the next generation.
Like ninja. You're not supposed to know who I am. You
just see, there you go. There you go. We're gonna
see the result.
So we're gonna give them a little something. You know, we're gonna start off. We're gonna reminisce a little. We're gonna reminisce. We're gonna reminisce. Let's reminisce with the people real quick and give them a little something, so they get a little taste and wonder why they call him Kwame.
Not the average rapper, the K is more. Rhymes like the thunderbolts of the mighty Thor. Be gone with yourself, cause I can conquer, boy. I break them C's like a Tonka toy. Smooth, suave, saboteur, debonair. Come in the party, yeah. I see you stop and stare to hear the man who only had your head shook. You dress GQ, to me you got
look, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, yo. I see that right there. To me, when I first bought that single, you know, like I told you, my brother went to the Wiz, picked it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Brought it home, and he bought it for me, you know, because I told him I want that album, you know. And he got me the single, and I was just like, cool, I'll live with it, you know. And I just kept playing that joint, and I remember getting my first polka-dot, you know, shirt, and I was tight because I told my mom I want a polka-dot shirt, right? But then she got me the little ones.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, nah, that's like for women or something. I'm like, nah, I want the big circles. And my mom was like, why? That's stupid.
Oh, she didn't go to the Gap? She was supposed to go to the Gap to go get that joint, because the Gap had the big joints.
The big joints, right. You know, but then that's the thing. I wasn't a Gap dude. So I used to rob the Gap and then, you know, boosted from the Gap, you know. But now, brother, but definitely that was something dope right there. I just wanted to throw that in there. I know you're probably tired of hearing that shit, but
no, you know, like honestly, like for example, I was told yesterday was the 33rd anniversary of that record. And
there you go.
I'm like, okay, I guess I think it came out in February, but I don't know. Anyway, I just appreciate every minute of someone just appreciating those works, because I've been putting out work since the late 80s up to like right now. So it's like anybody that brings up any era or any time of work that I put out, I appreciate it, man. I'm never gonna get tired of it, because you know,
that's what's up.
When I made it, I never expected to go 30 years, and I never expected people to know it. You know, I was just doing it for myself and having fun. So, you know, I appreciate all of it.
That's what's up, man.
You know what's crazy? So you know Michael Blackson.
Yeah.
Right? Me and him, we was in high school together.
Okay.
Right? The influence, so we graduated 89.
Mm-hmm.
Every day he used to dress like Big Daddy Kane. Silk suits, ballys, blah, blah, blah. I used to always rock like loafers, slacks, polka dot shirts, button downs.
Yeah.
The last year we had the talent show and we did the Kwamé versus Big Daddy Kane.
Oh wow!
Talent show joint.
Wow!
And the dancers had the whole nine.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that was.
What high school did you guys go to in Philly?
Bartram. John Bartram. Yeah.
That's
what's up, man. So let me ask you this, Kwame. I know, you know, when you released it, right? I think it was 89 you released it, and you was 16?
Yeah.
Okay, now that's crazy. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it, by the time you hit your third album, you was 18.
Yeah.
You know, so that's wild. You know, when you look at it from that perspective, you know, you got a 16-year-old, you know, not even
the third album, I was like 19 going on 20.
19 going on 20. But the fact that you got signed and you was putting out a major label, you know, production, you know, at 16, you know, it makes sense why you titled it, you know, Kwamé the Boy Genius, you know, because you kind of look at it like, yo, you to be 16 and be able to pull this off with such finesse and smoothly, there's no hiccups in it, you know, because as a teenager, you know, I rap, you know, and I'm there 16, I hear them tapes and I'm just like cringing when you hear that shit, you know, but like, you know.
But real quick note, the funny thing is I didn't, I did come up with the title, but the title actually came from Salt and Pepper.
Oh, wow. Like, look at that.
Because, and I tell this story often, but I had like the worst rap name ever. And my rap name was Sweet Daddy, Jazzy K, GQ. That was my name. So that was my rap name. And I remember coming to the studio and it was Salt was there and Dana Dane was there. And Dana was like, yo, Kwam, hands down, that is the worst name we have ever heard in our lives. Why don't you just call yourself your name, Kwame? There's nobody that has that name. And, you know, back in the 80s, there's a bunch of Kwames and all that stuff now. But when I was a kid, I was the only kid named Kwame. So and Salt was like, yeah, man, because you know, it's like you're like you make all these beats and you write these songs. You're like a boy genius. You're like Kwame the Boy Genius. And it was like, oh, okay, that's what the name of the album was gonna be. So I got to give that credit to Salt and Dana, because if anything, it would have been I Rock the Mic by Sweet Daddy KGQ, and y'all would have never heard of me ever.
Exactly. And Love Bug has something to do with production, right?
Well, Herbie. I produced my whole album. All my records I produced.
Okay,
but so Herbie was like, quote unquote, the hottest producer at the time, and Herbie we're all me, Wiz, Kid Play, Eric B, Cool G Rap. We're all from the same neighborhood. Beat Nuts. We're all from the same neighborhood. So Herbie's little brother Steve was a good friend of mine, and Herbie had Salt and Pepper out. Herbie had Kid and Play out, and then and Dana Dane. So when he heard the stuff that I was working on, he was like, "I can get you a deal too." So when he got the deal, of course, him being the top dog at the time, they're like, "Well, you got to say you produced it."
Right. Put that in writing.
They'll be like, you know, produced by Herbie Lovebug. You know, it's all good. The first album said that, but by the time the second album came out, which did bigger than the first album, you know, my name was on the credit. So it's fine.
You know, because the industry, that's a rarity, especially at that age that you come out and you're actually dope like that, right? To do your own production or whatever. But then that's a rarity that even on the second album, you got your credit as being a producer, because you know what? So the industry is a lot of cats that'll be like, "Nah, you got to be under me for."
Yeah, but what happened? This is the catch. Because I was underage, it was my parents had to pretty much sign the contract.
Right.
So as soon as I hit 18, so that when the record was coming out, I was 16, but then I was turning 17. You know, so by the time the second album came out, I was 17, turning 18. So they knew that I was turning 18. They hit me like, yo, look, you can get out of that just by re-signing and now you're 18, now you're independent. Your parents and nobody, like it was weird. My parents were going through a divorce and they had a divorce attorney look at the record contract. So I'm not blaming my parents for anything, but it was just, they just didn't know what it really was. So by the time I was 18, I was just privy to other channels and I was able to re-sign. And part of that re-signing was I need my credits.
Right.
I still had ties to Herbie. Herbie was still management, and I still had ties to the production company. But credit is key. Credit is bigger than cash. So, it was like, I need that credit.
That was smart. That was very smart. Because a lot of people are just happy putting out albums and getting shine and doing videos, but they're not business smart. Yeah, he's the genius with that.
Right. At the same time, like my musical heroes was Stevie Wonder and Prince, right? And so I look at their albums, and if you look at the back of Stevie album and Prince's album, it always says produced, composed, and arranged by Prince or Stevie Wonder. So in my mind, not really having a education of the industry, I thought that is what an artist is supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't checking for the credits of other artists like that. I don't care who produced that. Maybe like hip hop records. Yeah, I definitely cared. But as far as other artists, I didn't care who wrote it or produced it. But I really cared about Stevie Wonder and Prince. And I was like, yo, if they can do something like that, let me at least try to be on that level.
Right.
Even with the credit. So, it was a real important thing for me.
That's what's up. Now, of course, for those who don't know, he grew up in Queens, representing Queens, New York. Now, in your neighborhood, because every time I always speak to certain artists, that are part of the hip hop culture, the community, they tend to have neighbors that tend to be end up being in the same community. Yeah. Now, where you live and you grew up, did you end up like knowing that, this person next door ended up being such and such, or ended up being this, or this person down the block, or somebody?
Well, I was the last to make it. So for me, it was like, so for example, I live on a street called 97th Street. Now, my block, if you go one block down, I'm always going to big up my neighborhood in Queens. It's East Elmhurst, Corona. It's literally two neighborhoods in one. But my neighborhood in East Elmhurst, I consider a great place. On my block alone, the home that Malcolm X lived in that was firebombed was on my block. Then I'm on the block, and then you go up the block. Around the corner is DJ Wiz, right? Literally around the corner from me. I go around another corner this way is Kid from Kid and Play. A couple of blocks down is Eric B. One block up from me is the producer Ron Amin-Ra Lawrence, who was like a great one of the Bad Boy producers. He's a great producer who actually helped me get back on as a producer. So Ron's up the block. Walking to my grandmother's house, I got to pass Herbie Lovebug's house. You know what I'm saying? Walking to my great grandmother's house in Corona, I got to pass Cool G Rap, and DJ Polo. So all of these people, they're older than me. They're not a generation older than me.
Right.
They're older than me, and they were very influential in the neighborhood. They were, there was the crews, the Turnout Brothers, the Super Lovers, where Kid and Play were in opposite battling crews, and we would go to the park and watch them. Herbie Lovebug DJ'd my 8th grade prom. You know what I'm saying? And he brought Salt to the prom, and we thought Salt was our age, so we trying to bag Salt at the prom. Little kids, so that influence. And then when Herbie got on, he got on in 86. I'm like 13 going on 14. So I'm seeing Sweet Tea come to the house. I'm seeing LL in the neighborhood. I'm seeing all these people coming into the neighborhood just based on the magnetism of Herbie Lovebug. So I definitely have to give that credit to him. And he literally took a neighborhood, an obscure neighborhood in Queens, and put it on the hip hop map. There's been so many great people that lived in the neighborhood before us, but he put it on a hip hop map, and it's just like a magical spot at that time.
That's what's up. See, it always happens, man. There's always some connection there. You know, I always notice that, you know, which is amazing. You know, it goes to show how so many people are connected and don't even realize it in the culture. You know, but I got a little story. I know it's sidetrack. I got a little story about LL, because that's one that I never forget. You know what I mean? I'm 48. You know, I'm not as old as Skeme, who's like 82. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, so it was like early, you know, mid 80s when he already had dropped his first hit. You know what I mean? This was the I Need Love LL. You know what I mean? He had the full red jumpsuit, the Kango. Yeah. Now I lived in 165th Walton Avenue, right next to Yankee Stadium. Where I grew up at was a big spot, you know, a big crack spot, a big dust spot, and across the street, Dominicans, like I have families, you know what I'm saying, doing the cocaine and shit, you know. So we had the Dominicans holding that shit down, you know. I had my cousins over there and shit. It was crazy. So, you know, but it was funny because my building, the locks never worked. You know what I mean? So all the fiends would come into my building, go upstairs to smoke. You know, and over time, you know, we eventually started beating their asses, getting them out. We used to take the little Yankee bats that they give out, and we used to just whip
you get the back.
Yeah, exactly. We used them as billy clubs and shit. We used to fuck them up and get them out of our building. But before that, I was a little young. I think, I don't know, I had to be, 11, 12 or some shit like that. I was with my older brother. And of course, you see LL was sitting in my, you know, in front of my door, 3C, and I'm sitting there, and then I see LL with the suit, you know, going up with some other dude, going up the stairs, and my brother was like, yo, LL, and he turned around, he was like, yo, and, you know, and we were like, oh shit, it's LL, but then we were like, what is LL doing going up to the
Are you insinuating that LL was smoking?
He was smoking dust, son.
Are you sure that was LL?
That my man's in them. My man. When we know LL, we are fans. We got the music, we see the videos. And when he went up them steps and my brother was like, hey, yo, LL, he turned around and was like, yo. And I mean, that his voice, everything, that was LL. And when he came down, we waited for him. He was blitted as shit. You know what I'm saying? He came in, he was blitted. You know what I'm saying? So he was smoking that shit because we could smell it. You know, we know crack smell. I know dust smell. By the time I was 8, I knew the difference between sherm and motherfucking crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already was a master of that shit. So we went all the way up to the 5th floor and we were like, yo, he's smoking that shit. He's smoking leaky. Oh, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And that's my LL story. Don't worry, he ain't never gonna see this shit. You know what I mean? You
never know, man.
You know, but that's my little funny LL story from the hood. You know, LL.
I just say like this. I know that back in the days there was a lot of lookalikes running around. Seriously.
Nah, no doubt.
We've walked into shows and there'd be two girls on stage saying they salt and pepper full into the middle of the show.
Right. No doubt.
Hey.
No doubt.
There goes my LL plaque right there.
I know. That's why I brought it up. I know.
I'm like, I don't know.
Hey, you never know. It could have been, you know, the multiversal Marvel thing that happened in that moment. Right. It was just like, that's not him. That was just his other him. You know what I mean?
JJ Cool L.
That was Yay Cool. Yay Foo Fell.
Yeah, from Earth 2.
You know what I'm saying? But back to you, brother. I want to get into how it started. You know, what got you into collecting, and what you started collecting first? What gave you that spark?
Oh, yo,
what was it?
You want to go there? Okay,
we got to start there. And then we're gonna get into your pool list. We're gonna start
in the 70s, and my collection goes back to Mego action figures.
Bang.
And do I have any of my original Migos here?
Look at Skeme. Skeme is like, I got it right
I'm about to go pull.
Yeah, I saw your eyes. He just looked back. He was like, there it is right there. There it is, my Migo. I see it right there.
No, I got a bunch of Migos here, but I don't have like, you know, I got like new Migos. Like I just got this in the Shazam, but but I don't have any of my old Migos here. But like for example, $6 Million Man, Bigfoot, those are originals. Oh no, I do have a Migo. I have a Migo Star Trek, Mr. Spock back there. But anyway, I started out with Migo, so it was all about Migo, like 100%. So you have the world's greatest superheroes. That was the only company that was able to produce DC and Marvel heroes at the same time. Yep. So you know, you had your 8-inch figures, and I had them all of them. And then you had your 12-inch figures. My mom's, I don't know why she was not with the 12-inch figures.
12-inch was dope though. 12-inch was dope.
But I needed flyweight action Superman. To this day, that's my holy grail. I still need a mint flyweight action Superman. But Migo, just to give you a thing with Migo had world's greatest heroes, DC and Marvel. Then they had Star Trek. So I had the Star Trek line. Then they had Happy Days. They had Planet of the Apes line. Planet of the Apes. They had even Wizard of Oz. They had the Wizard of Oz line. They had Dukes of Hazzard. Had to get that. They had Starsky and Hutch. They had what else? Monsters, like movie monsters, like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman. I was a fiend for those monsters. I had to get that. So Migo was literally my life. So that's like, you know, early 70s up until 77, 78, right? Also, you have like you know, we were showing earlier in the pre-thing, the Shogun Warriors.
Yeah, man.
Those Shogun Warriors, like in the middle. There you go. That Godzilla in the middle. That Godzilla was my life, man. As a kid,
hell yeah,
all about that middle Godzilla. The other Shogun Warriors I had, but you know, I collected as time went on. But that Godzilla,
official,
and then from there, 1978 hit. You know what that means? That means all Star Wars, everything. So when the first Star Wars hit, you know, there you go. See, this is the thing, man. Y'all don't understand. I have multiple areas. There's a recording studio this side. There's a whole other room. I can pull out old Star Wars vehicles and figures, but let's stay on topic. So
right. This is why they need to follow you, because you be pulling them out. I've been watching. You be pulling them out, man. I saw.
So you know, you have the original Star Wars, your original Star Wars figures. Then I had to send away for my Boba Fett that I thought the rocket was gonna come. The rocket was gonna shoot up, but by the time I got it, they was like, no, it's a child hazard, but you know, no rocket. So then from there, you got your Empire Strikes Back figures in 80, 81, or well, 80, they start coming out. But then 81 into 82 happens, and here we go with G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe hits.
Right.
It's all about G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe and Star Wars, man. Oh, don't drop. There you go. Yep. There you go.
I dropped this guy over here. Hold on. It was him over here. Hold on. It was just one of his lieutenants.
Yep. All my vintage Joes. I think the only vintage Joe I have here is, well, Snake Eyes. You can't see it, but Snake Eyes is sitting on top of Voltron. Oh yeah, I have some vintage Star Wars here. I have all the bounty hunters right here.
Nice.
But you know, between Star Wars, G.I. Joe, all of that, and it just started collecting. But you know, and I don't know why, I never really got into Transformers. I loved them, but it was like, look, man, I gotta pick, because what happened was hip hop. So it was like, all right, my toy collection is now limited because I need records, I need turntables, I need a mixer. So my parents is like, yo, what are you going? You know, my father literally was like, at one point, he was like, look, you 12 years old, 13 years old. You asking for too much. You want Snow Adidas, you want a Kango, you want Gazelles, but yet you want G.I. Joe and another Darth Vader. You're gonna have to pick. And it got to that point. He was like, you're gonna have to pick. You're gonna be a kid, or you're gonna grow up and do this music, because I'll support you in the music, but I'm not gonna support you buying toys.
Right.
I was like, all right, give me the turntables. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it paid off. It paid off.
Yeah, man. Yo, he bought.
You made the right decision.
A guy in my neighborhood named Norman. He was selling what DJs know as a coffin. He had a coffin with the two straight arms and a mixer, and he sold it for $125, $125. And my father bought that, and I just, the toys ended at that point. And then, as I started making records, you know, it just, you know, I was still going to toy stores. I would still do whatever. And I think a girlfriend at the time, when I first came out, a girlfriend at the time for my birthday bought me a mint inbox Mego Superman. And she brought that thing in, and I was like, you done pulled me back. From that point, when I was like 16, 17, after that Mego Superman, I just started hunting, like mega hunting. It was like re-getting the stuff that you didn't have or you used to have, and then it was just like continue. It was like that for toys and comics for me. And
that's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Yeah. Man.
See, my mistake was I should have stopped collecting Transformers, because then now I'm still doing a 12-hour shift at a factory. You know, I could have been like a famous, MC producer, but my dumb ass kept collecting Transformers. So there you go, kids. Lesson learned.
Yo, so I want to sidetrack a little bit before we get back into the music for a second.
Yeah.
A lot of people really, since you're a producer now and you're still producing a lot of stuff.
Yes.
You're technically not the face because you're producing other artists.
Yeah.
Right. So people don't know that you're still getting it in like that. And I got to say, one of the joints that you produced that I probably play at almost every gig. The Vivian Green.
Oh,
Get Right Back.
Oh, Get Right. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Played, but it was funny because I didn't know you produced it.
I'm
playing it, and after I started doing the homework, and was like, "Oh shit,
Kwame."
Well, see, come on, Skeme. Right in the beginning of the record, it says my name in Japanese.
I know. But like, it was like I wasn't putting two and two together.
Yeah.
So
like, no, that record. You know, it's funny with that record, man. It's like when me and Viv started working, and I played her that record, she was like, I don't know about this, man, because, she has the ballad. So it's like, no, we're going to get in the clubs. We're going to get in the clubs with this one. And there was no deal attached, nothing. I just threw it out there. And it's coincidentally, I was shopping for a deal for my label, and that record put all the things together. And it's like, that thing came out in 2015, and everywhere she goes, everywhere we go, when that thing drops, it rings out. It's like I call it the people's record, because people love that record, and I'm appreciative that all these years later that I can still have, records that affect people in some kind of way.
Dude, that record, every time I drop that record, it still gets mad burn on the dance floor. I'm like, it just feels good. It's one of those timeless, like it can do no wrong.
Good. Thank you. Good looking out. Good looking out.
It is, man. And that's just one thing.
She wrote a real dope record to that. So
that's what dope, man. Yeah. Yo, guys, believe me, this man is so talented. I mean, there are songs that you jam into, pretty sure he produced it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And y'all be surprised.
Only the good songs.
Right. Of course. Now, let's get into that pool list, because I know the people, they saw you pull that out. They got really excited. They saw the stack. It looked like 100 G's. Come on.
This pull list is based on, I just picked it up. So this is honestly based on me not showing up, because I've been traveling, so I'm on the road a lot of times. I perform with Vivian on the road, and I also perform by myself and some other stuff. So I've been gone for a minute, and the comic book store kept calling. And big shouts out to this comic book store that I like to go to. I live in California, and there's a store that I like to go to called Fat Collectibles. And Fat Collectibles is maybe I don't know, 35 minutes outside of LA. And they have vintage toys. They got the dope vintage Star Wars, vintage Transformers. They got a whole vintage spot. But then they also sell current toys and current comics. So this is all this pull list is all DC everything.
I was about to say, don't judge them for the DC people. Don't judge them for
Please don't. I'm not. Even though I did already, just y'all don't.
I'm secure in my comic collecting.
Yo, I rocks with DC.
As long as I don't.
I know you do. I know you do.
I'm a Marvel head. I know. But I rock.
But the thing is, I don't dislike Marvel. I don't have anything. I love Marvel. I love DC. I love comics. But my favorite heroes just happen to be on the side of DC.
You see,
right?
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Again, my favorite, Spider-Man and Incredible Hulk, or Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Doctor Strange, and Silver Surfer and Namor are my top 5 Marvel people. Like I have top Marvel people. Fantastic Four. Like those are my people. So this pull list, I'm into this Batman 1989 series.
Yes.
Only six issues of that, and they come out like once every 9 months. And in tradition of Batman 89, Superman 78. I'm a big Batman Superman head. So I missed a bunch of Superman 78 issues. So don't be mad. Then I was always interested on how they trying to move Superman's son. I don't know how I feel about Superman having kids or anything like that, but I started reading Superman's son, Kal-El, Superman. Now I'm a Batman head, so Detective Comics. I'm getting this new artist. What is his name? I think it's Tamaki. I think that's his name. But if anybody can tell me this new artist for Detective Comics, this dude is incredible with his detail on how he draws the artwork, or how he draws the people. Like this is the thing.
Where my DC heads at? Come on.
I like realism in comics. I don't really fall into the side of ultra fantasy. And when I say ultra fantasy, I mean when I was a kid, I was so into my comics, I would, like 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, I would imagine, what if these people were real? Like for really real? How would Batman actually work? How would Spider-Man actually work? How would Hulk work? Like in my mind, I'm like, why does Hulk have on pants? I don't want to see a naked Hulk, but there is no way Bruce Banner is going to now turn into 10-foot tall Hulk and still have his pants on. So so I was into the realism, and what brought me back to comics really was Dark Knight Returns. Just the grittiness, the Frank Miller's grimy version of Batman, to me, is what I always saw Batman as. But even further, when Alex Ross did Marvels, when I read Marvels, to me, one of my favorite Marvel storylines ever, because it was real. It felt real. It was from the perspective of somebody seeing Spider-Man, somebody seeing the Fantastic Four spaz out in the street. That's what I always wanted to see in a comic. So when Alex Ross did Marvels, and then he went and did Kingdom Come, hands down, Kingdom Come and Marvels are my top 2, period. Like, I love all the storylines. I love Secret Wars. I love, all these classic storylines, House of M, all that stuff. I love them. But Marvels and Kingdom Come, because of the realistic.
Yeah, man. Marvels was on my pull list. I know they just came out with a Marvel recently a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I believe it was number 6 or 7, I believe.
What do you mean? Like which
Alex
Marvel?
Ross, the Marvel.
They did a new one.
It's a recent one. They redid. Yeah, and he's doing all the covers.
Okay. I got to peep that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for letting me know about that.
No doubt.
So, back to my Superman. I'm in Action Comics.
Yes, sir.
These are all just different versions of the same, episode. What else? This I'm just like, these are all Detective Comics that I missed, all Action Comics that I missed. So basically that was my pull box from now. But as far as like Marvel goes, I just haven't gotten into any story that's compelled me yet. You know, like I'll pick something up, and I think I was telling you, Morbius, I was saying that I want to go back. Like I want to go back and like super dive into Frank Miller's Daredevil run.
Yeah, man.
I want to go. I collect Immortal Hulk. I definitely get that.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you when you was talking about stories because Immortal Hulk is fucking dope.
Yeah, Immortal Hulk
dope.
But there are a lot of I'm a super Jack Kirby fan. So anything Kirby, whether it's old Thors, I want to just go like I just want to get the omnibus of like old Jack Kirby Thors and old Steve Ditko Spider-Mans and all those of origin. When I say origin stories that set the template for things that's now, because I feel like a lot of the stories DC and Marvel are regurgitative, and it's just like okay, the templates that were set in the 60s and the 70s, we're just telling new versions of those stories now, and I want to go back and feel the real versions of the story. Like Defenders, when I was a kid, I used to the original Defenders, Hulk, Namor, and what do you call it? And Doctor Strange. Yo, man, like that was my shit. Like for real. So you know, don't get me wrong. I rock with Marvel just as much, but
that's
you know,
That's what's up. You definitely showing improving right now. That's for sure, man. You definitely sure. You ain't slipping. You on your square, my brother. You on your square.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And he ain't lying to y'all. He's showing. He talking the talk right now and walking the walk. You know, and that's what's up, man. I wanted you said something because I'm a big cosmic guy. You know what I mean? It was you know, Sterling who got me into all that cosmic characters. You know, when I started reading Strange Tales, you know, I got into the Tribunal, you know, with all that stuff, and it just blew my mind, the whole cosmic universe of Marvel. So Thanos, you know, Silver Surfer, Captain Marvel, these are big guys for me. You know, these are runs that I made sure I was on top of, you know, growing up. And I actually, speaking of pull list, this just came in. I had ordered this. This is a variant of a Silver Surfer Rebirth #1 from Masafar, which I don't really know this artist too much. I've never really heard of him, but I just wanted to showcase this because it's like,
oh, that's dope.
That's a beautiful
shit. You know, he like has Captain Marvel. He got fucking Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks sick. And I know that we have spoken before in regards to how you feel, because it's a big topic. I don't know if you know, in the comic community, you know, there's something that me, you know, Skeme and, you know, PJ Morris, you know, you got Crash, you know, shout out to the Four Horsemen. Like we consider ourselves pure collectors, true collectors, in the sense that we are doing it for the love of the books, the love of the characters, the love of the artist, the love of the story. You know, we're not in this to try to flip and make a quick buck out of it. You know what I mean? We grew up with these books. Our collection, a majority, 80, whatever, 70% is our collection, is what we grew up with. You know what I mean? That we purchased as kids, you know, and that's something that I know a lot of people now, because of CGC that started in like early 2001, you know, kind of changed the mindset of comic collecting, where now comic investors now is what people call themselves, or flippers, in the sense that you know, they're just here to just buy a book. They only care about the grade and not the book, and that's something we always talk about. You know, we had, when we spoke also, we had, you know, we talked on that topic, that's something that means a lot to us. You know what I mean? And people who do this for the money tend to get offended when we say we are pure collectors, because they look at it, well, I'm a pure collector too, and it's like, no, you're not. Because you're doing it for the totally wrong reasons. You're out to make a quick buck, and you only grade a book because you know you can make money off of it. You know, and we don't care about grading books. I know you had mentioned you're not a lover of grading. You don't care about grading your books. You know, and in true honor and respect to that, I wanted to give you a little something, because just recently I picked up to finally finish, because you know, PJ, my boy PJ, had just posted the full run of Iron Fist, right, not too long ago. I have every book of Iron Fist except number 14, which is the first appearance of Sabretooth, you know, and because of that, I was like, you know what, you know, I can't let my brother outdo me like that. So I had to go pick up You know what I mean? I picked up a 5.5. Iron Fist. It's a very clean one. I love these 5.5s. I got lucky off of it because it don't look like no 5.5.
Yeah, no, not at all.
That shit is like clean, bro.
With the Spalding ad at the back with Dr. J.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta love it, bro. The Spalding, I love it. So I was like, you know what? You know, we're gonna keep it raw. We're gonna keep it funky right now.
Crack it.
We're gonna keep it funky. You know what I'm saying? We got this bad boy out. Hold on. And for those, I don't know if, because I want to let Kwame know that we guys that are like, this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? We could get.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So when you have those grades, right? When you have, I usually, I don't think I've ever bought a comic in a graded box.
Okay, so I'll explain.
For you is, are you supposed to not open that? See, there you go.
This motherfucker. All right. I completed my run. You completed you got the full run, right?
My run's done.
I know you got your full run.
So, I'm saying, are you not supposed to crack it open like that?
No, you're not supposed to crack it because the whole point of it is this right here. This is what it's all about right here. Yeah. That number. And that number is an economic monetary value that it gives right to the book. So the higher the grade, of course, the more valuable the book becomes. But if you don't care about value and you know, you don't give a shit about what it's actually kind of worth, and you just want to read it, you want to own it, you've been dying for this book, you want to complete your run like I just did now, you know, we don't give a shit about that. But pretty much the new concept of collecting, the new mindset that has come on since the early 2000s is, no, you don't want to crack it because it's worth money. And you could sell it one day and you can make money off of it, you know? And it's like, so
they never read the book.
They never read the book. They went as far as this label.
Just open it up, read it, and put it back in. Like
right. That's what I'm about to do. I got my board, my bag board. I'm about to cut it out. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna read it tonight, and then I'm gonna put it away. And now I'm gonna feel really good when I spread all those 15 comics out, and I'm like, I am fucking done. 22 years in the making. I am done with my Iron Fist run. Now let me finish this Hulk run. Another fucking. It never ends. Never fucking ends. Now I'm off to the next one. But at least we know as this is, and it's funny because I was talking to my brother Rage Steele, who's in here. I don't know if he's still in here. Because we had a conversation. Rage is a seller. You know, he also invests, but he collects as well. But he's more of a seller. You know, so his mindset is always like, hey, I want to try to make the buck. You know what I mean? Try to get as much out of it. So when he would tell me about other collectors and be like, hey, they got this book, they got that book graded for this, and I'm just like, cool, but do they have like they got the full run of it, like, or they just got that one book? They got that one book, or they just got the because what impresses me is if you tell me the whole run, because that's like when we were growing up and people would talk about their comics and they'd be like, oh, I got the run of this, I got the run. You were like, dang, yo, that's official. Like he heavy with it, man. Like he's on it, you know. But nowadays it's about the key. It's about the key book. The number one appearance, the full cover appearance, how much money can I get out of it? And that's it. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to read it.
I want to say this about Marvel, Marvel and DC, but Marvel versus DC per se. The one thing I appreciate about Marvel, and I never really thought about it as a kid, but I appreciate it as an adult. Marvel is always taking the time to create characters that look like us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They've taken the time, being from New York, most of Marvel Universe was based in New York, so I appreciate that. But I really appreciate the fact that there are characters that look and feel like us, as opposed to DC,
right?
Who takes a current character and dips them in black and then says this is a black Superman, black Batman. I can't stand it.
Just create a new character.
Yeah, man.
Right. Give me a new character, man. Stop trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like y'all doing it, or you know, whatever it is, whether it's black, Latino, like gay, whatever it is.
Right.
They just do it for the news bite.
Yeah.
Right.
Creating outside of what Dwayne McDuffie and Milestone, what they were doing, you know, that's just an imprint that DC took on. but and they still separate it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't integrate. They're not really in Static ain't in the Justice League. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why ain't Static in Teen Titans?
Facts.
You know, or if he is now, I don't know. But I'm saying if he is, he's been around for almost 25 years.
Right.
Why hasn't he been in the Teen Titans? Why isn't Icon down with the Justice League? You got a green dude from Mars.
Right.
You can't have a black man who's an alien be down with y'all too.
Be down with y'all. Nah.
Who can crack Superman's jaw, but at the same time, y'all don't want to have that or anybody like that. Right. And so you know, we have Black Lightning,
right,
and the Black Green Lantern, and yes, they came in the early 70s.
But they did that because Marvel.
Yeah. Right.
Even though now, let's say now, there's a whole lot of because of DC that Marvel does too.
Of course, where you think Thanos came from, Darkseid. You know what I mean? Thanos
Marvel
came from Darkseid.
And that was my thing against Marvel. When I would see like fake DC people, I'm like, come on, really? Like, y'all got to do this, you know? So that was like, it was always my back and forth with DC and Marvel when it came to that. And I get it, you know, as an adult, I get it, and I don't care anymore. But like Thanos, I could never get into Thanos as a kid because I'm like, yo, he is Darkseid. I'm not with it. Who else? I could never get into a character named Captain Marvel who's not Shazam. I'm like, you whack for that. I'm never getting into Captain Marvel. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Anytime I see a Captain Marvel comic, I'll be like, now, peace, get that fake dude out of here.
But Captain Marvel on the DC side is just a little too happy with the outfit, and he's a little too happy.
Captain Marvel on the DC side. Let me defend Captain Marvel Shazam. Let me defend.
I love the Filmation TV show, the live action TV show Shazam. I love the cartoon Shazam.
Right, the live action show was cool. That was cool.
Let me defend him because he's
that about it though.
He's in my top 3, and the reason why I'm gonna give you the reason why. Shazam is the perfect superhero for a little kid.
Oh, hands down.
You know why?
Hands down. He is a kid. He is a kid.
You're a kid. You say a magic word. You turn into the strongest dude ever. You can fly. But then on top of that, you can put your boys on. Right. You turn your boys into your lieutenants. They got the same suit as you. Y'all rocking and rolling. Guess what? You got a talking tiger that's down with you. You got a talking bunny rabbit that's down with you. Oh, guess what? Your favorite uncle, you want him on the missions too? Boom, Shazam. Your uncle's now your favorite dude. Oh, you got your sister. Your sister got to look after you. Boom, she's down with Shazam too. But you
see, doesn't that come off like the DC way? That there's no type of like Superman, he's just omnipotent. There's no like Shazam. There you go. He has this how can I say unhindered ability to turn other people into Shazam or have that power. And it's like that to me. I would see it like that's OD. That's OD.
But it's not,
that's too much. It's too much
because he has checks and balances. He can't just be like, boom, you get a power. Boom, you get a power. It's not like that. And his lieutenants, what they call back in the days, his lieutenants. You know, they weren't as powerful as him, but it was about the kid that can put his friends on. The kid that can put his imaginary.
Yeah, I get that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
But there was a dark side. Shazam had this black face, you know, friend named Slappy. That, you know, like, come on, man, you got to get rid of Slappy.
Hey, listen, not Marvel is you know, I mean DC. You know, I've seen a lot of that. I mean, of course, with Lois Lane, we have that classic, you know, with Lois Lane, Curiously Black, you know, if I was black, you know, and she was like, would you date me now? And Superman was like, I got to go. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even answer the question. He was just like, I'm out. Like, you know, but we got to also remember the times, man, and the people who were running this and all that stuff.
1940.
Yeah, man, it was a man's world and it was a white man's world. I hate to say it.
But you know what's crazy?
Think about Superman. Sorry, not to cut you off. Yeah. That my favorite hero is Superman. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, why Superman?" But I can break and I can explain all aspects of Superman to you. And my thing is with Superman's story is nothing but Moses. He was created by two Jewish people, and they retold the story of Moses in comic book form. Moses / Jesus, but two Jews. But back then in 1938, 39, a Jewish person was just as grimy as a black person. So they couldn't make him a Jewish person. They couldn't pull out their religion in their creation. So they masked it up and switched it around and made him Superman. The name Kal-El, that is a Jew. Like, you can't get more Jewish in the last name.
That shit do sound Jewy, son.
Yeah, so
no defense.
So,
we got jokes. We joking here.
It's all good. I get it.
We joking.
But what I'm saying is, the comic book world has been filled with tropes and racism and
since day one, bro.
Yeah, man. But
I mean, look at Superman. His first issues, right? When you look, I've read the first 10 issues of Superman, right? Because obviously, I don't like DC, but I don't want to be ignorant either. You know what I mean? In the sense that if we're gonna have this dialogue and this, I want to be able to have some type of foundation on DC characters and where they come from. And Superman in the beginning, he was heartless, bro. This dude was like taking out cities left and right with like nonchalantly. Like people would just be like, oh, why'd you did that? They didn't deserve to live. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they didn't appreciate what they had, so I took it all away from them. And you're just like, yo, this dude is a beast. Like
or World War II Superman beating up Japanese people.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like he just no fucks given, in those first 30, 40 issues, but it just goes to show you the times and the people who were behind it. You know
the crazy thing. So one of my favorite and grails that I pulled last year was to showcase DC Comics Dr. No, James Brown. James Bond, right? James Brown, gotta have a DJ thing on it. So like that was a grail. Now, if you know Dr. No, there was the three Jamaican guys, the three blind mice, right? So it wasn't until I opened up the book and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Why are the three blind mice white? When in the movie, they were black, they were Jamaican.
Right.
After researching, that issue originally came out in the UK, right? They were three Jamaicans in the UK edition. When DC got the licensing to do it for them, they recolored the three blind mice and made them white.
Yeah.
Right, and that's DC at work again.
Right.
So now I got to go and track down the super rare UK edition of that comic. Which is hard.
And I want to know how in the meeting did they say, let's make these guys white? Like,
right.
Where did that come from?
Probably because their audience
they presume their audience was white.
Well, my thing is like,
because they're white, so they figure they're white.
But James Bond, Dr. No had already been in theaters in America, so it wasn't like y'all ain't never seen black people before.
Yeah, and it was based in Jamaica, like the whole movie, so we know.
Right. Exactly. But that goes to show that in the beginning, there was an agenda, and I hate to say it, now there is one too with the whole social justice warriors, the whole thing with now you're replacing these male figures with female characters. Nothing wrong with that, but let's do it the right way. Let's do it for the right reasons.
What's wrong with it is
there's nothing wrong with it.
Make a new character.
Right. Stop. Right, because it's like they want to remove these men, right? Because we're in a state of mind right now that and salute to all our queens out there, but right now we're the man is being demasculinized. You know what I mean? We're being taken down, and the woman is now being, which is nothing wrong with women empowerment, but you got to understand that at the end of the day, I feel that when you try to put one above the other, that's where you have the problem. So I'm not going to agree with back in the days where we had our women in the crib and, we could abuse them because they ain't had no job, no education. They couldn't do shit with their life. So they're not going to divorce their husband because they're stuck. You know what I mean? So of course there's two sides of this, guys, so anyone who's like getting all triggered, understand, we understand both sides of this, but at the end of the day, what's going on now is what happened with what men was doing to women back then. Now it's starting to happen to us in the sense, and it's called independence, it's called, women empowerment, and it's masking these things. And now it's bled into the comic books, bled into the movies, where now you're getting a shitty fucking story, a shitty transition of these characters with no thought, but it's just a political, agenda behind it. And that's what.
I'm saying? Sorry, you know what I hate is the fact that every generation, whatever hero comes out in that generation is what the next generation takes as law. So now the 5-year-old kid seeing this corny version of this one or a whack version of that one, they're gonna grow up to be a geek and they're gonna be like, well, nah, Superman is this or
right.
Like, no, man,
no, he's not.
And I know it's like, yeah, these people aren't real or whatever, but at some point, it's
real because they reflect the reality we live in, to some sense.
But I'm just thinking of a creator. I create this character, and as time goes by, I'm an old person. I'm dead now. I don't think I would have wanted my character. I would want my character to always be on the morally correct path. But I don't know if I would want my character to be so changed that it's an unrecognizable piece of my creation.
Correct.
But then on the flip side, what I don't mind, for some reason, I never minded Miles Morales Spider-Man. Meaning, like, why did you make a black Spider-Man? You know what I'm saying? At first, here he's in from another universe, but now he's switched over to this universe. But the thing about Spider-Man, what I always enjoyed about Spider-Man is the mask aspect. Even though you knew Peter Parker was under the mask, for a little kid, anybody could be under that mask. Like I'm a little kid watching Spider-Man for the first time on Electric Company. He don't never take his mask off.
Right.
This is Spider-Man. And I'm like, yo, I'm not thinking or caring. I don't give two shit who's under that mask.
Who's under that mask? Who gives a fuck?
Until you know his story.
Yeah, until you know his story. But at the same time, Miles Morales gives the little kid a choice. You know what I'm saying? A kid that looks like us gives it a choice. Oh, shit, we could be Spider-Man too, I guess. And then you got Spider-Gwen and all these other different iterations. And I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like 20 million Spider-Mans or not. I don't know.
Right. I get you on that one. I think a lot that had to do with Miles Morales is that it was organic. Yeah. It wasn't force-fed, and it came at a time before this whole agenda and political stuff. It was very organic, and the way he was presented to us, it's like what they did. He was from another reality, so they kind of like eased it in the sense that, hey, we're not taking away your Spider-Man, we're just letting you know that there exists another multiverse of Spider-Mans, and this is just an example of it. And so that curiosity was like, oh shit, let's what he about?
Another DC jack on Marvel's part, because DC was never really super heavy into that multiverse, man.
Hell no.
That's a super DC thing. So that's another reason why I love DC, because DC was giving me heroes from the 30s and 40s, still existing, with the heroes from the 70s and 80s, and they made it make sense.
See, I mess with that. I mess with that right there, how it's done like that, where you can take a character from the 30s or 40s.
Right.
Still, Justice League was like that. Like, you could still make it coexist like that.
Yeah, man. That was
the Marvel thing. I don't know. Like, the multiverse thing, it's just like, okay, you got more and more. But I'm like, yo, Peter Parker, that's who you are. When Dick Grayson becomes whoever, and then the new Nightwing becomes the new Dick Grayson, and blah. I'm like, okay, he just got older. This guy died, and he just took over his place. See, I can roll with that, but when it's just like giving me the black Superman or the black so and so or the female so and so, I'm like, just create a new character.
You know what I'm gonna say? Like one thing with Marvel that I always enjoyed, and what kind of always made me such a big fan, even though it was the first thing that I was introduced to. I mean, that had a lot to do with it, with my older brothers introducing me to Marvel. We never had really DC. If we did, it was Batman. And I'm gonna be honest, I do collect still Volume 3 Batman. You know what I mean? I believe we're up to 122 right now. So I do read that Batman, because I'm a fan of Batman because he's a peak human. I love that about having that type of character where they don't have no superpowers. It's just straight skills. You know what I mean? I love those type of characters. So Batman is like top when it comes to that. But at the same time, I feel like with Marvel, what really brought me and really had me a Marvel staple collector is the continuity that Marvel has. When you look at their continuity compared to DC, it's hands down on point. Like, you could take books and you could tie these motherfucking books in, and you could go so far back, you know what I mean, with their continuity and how they put stories together and different titles together, how they tie all these things without really trying. It just is organic how they tie this continuity stuff. And when they create these events, like you have the Age of Apocalypse, you know, you got Extinction Agenda, you have, you know, the Executioner song, like all these, like the continuity, Marvel at that time smashed it. You know what I mean? And I felt at that time DC was just like, you know, just spitting stuff out, you know, and that's
after Crisis on Infinite Earths, if you're not a DC head,
I actually have that run. I got that
hands
run.
Down one of the greatest
right, and that's why I put it. I have that run. I'm not gonna lie. I do have Crisis.
Like after Crisis on Infinite Earths, DC just went whatever. You know what I'm saying? But pre-Crisis, and the problem is, like, everybody complained about like OD Superman or whatever, but DC had their compartmentalization under control. There wasn't 800 million superheroes in one place. The Justice Society of America were heroes from 1939 to 1969. They were on Earth too. You know what I'm saying? Shazam and all of his people, they were on Earth S. So Superman and Shazam did not coexist, even though they were pretty much almost equally powered. They did not coexist ever. So they were on two different worlds. You know, you had your fourth world with Darkseid and all of those Jack Kirby characters. They came into the universe, they left the universe. And then you had, you know, your evil versions. You had all these different
Are they 52? Isn't it something like that? Like 52?
Yeah, but 52, but that was just like a whack trying to recreate that vibe. But it wasn't, you know, it was just a reason to start over. You know, that's the problem with DC. DC comes up with these.
They constantly starting over. That's my thing with them. They're constantly hitting the reboot button. It's
it's to sell books as opposed to give you great stories.
Right.
And so that's my gripe with DC, because like you said, that continuity is not as deep as Marvel. But then at the same time, how do you explain a continuity that started in 1971 and now it's 2022 and you're dealing with the same continuity? Like, how do you address that? Right. You know, at least DC is addressing, okay, how we're going to address it is the 80s superheroes are the 80s superheroes, the 90s superheroes are the 90s superheroes, and the 2000 superheroes are the 2000. So everybody pretty much, anytime you read a DC book, they've been rocking for no more than 20 years. You know, everybody's either from 5 to 20 years old. Like, I think the oldest guy would be Batman, because he's the only one you can explain. Batman like has to be a 50-year-old guy. There's no way to explain that there's like 25 Robins and they're all damn near grown up except for his son Damian. So it's like, how do you explain that in Marvel? How do you explain the stretching out? Is one issue the equivalent of 3 hours as opposed to, you know, like, how does that get explained?
Yeah. I think that, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, we all grew up at different times with different things. And I think that dictates a lot of what we get into. You know, I was introduced to comic books in the Bronze Era, you know, and for me, the Bronze Era was just Marvel. You know what I mean? That's all I knew. That's all I digested. That's all my brothers were bringing home. And then that's what I started bringing home, you know, was Marvel. And every once in a while, there would be a Batman comic, you know what I mean, or a Superman comic, but it was rare and few, you know. So I think a lot of that has to dictate what we like and what we fall into is the era that we started it and at what height, you know, they were at that attracted us and brought us into that realm. Now, I know we're going on 10 minutes over, which is so dope because that just tells me that we were just fucking in our zone right now. And I think that, you know what I mean? We got to do a Marvel DC episode next. You know what I mean? But definitely, you know, we could keep going, brothers. I mean, I could keep going. You know what I mean? But I know, but definitely, I wanna, you know, put an end to it here because I know that, you know, this is just gonna, we ain't gonna stop. We're gonna keep this conversation is not gonna stop.
Yeah,
so
it don't ever stop.
It never stops, man. But I mean, I do want to say though, Skeme, if you have any closing thoughts on it, you know, definitely, you know, share your thoughts.
You know what? I feel like we covered a lot of ground on this, man. Yeah, we got the toy business going on, you know, the history in that. We got like his love for the DC, you know, but his still understanding of the Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm always I'm like the minority with you and PJ and you know what I'm saying, where it's like I do like some DC titles and you got like anti-DC titles, you know.
Well, so you know, but I just exposed myself because PJ was like, I'm sus right now. He was like, yo, Morbius sus with the Batman run. And we already had that discussion, PJ. Come on, let's get off.
Yeah, no, this was solid. Like this was solid.
No, it was a great, man. Kwame, please, I know that you got a lot going on. I just want to showcase you right now, give you a second to let the people know what's going on, what you got going on, and where they can find you at, brother. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. Here you go.
Well, definitely, you could definitely find me on Instagram at Kwame Vision, Twitter at Kwame Did It. I'm mainly on Instagram though, so I'm not even going to go into the other ones. I like to. I'm a visual person, so I like to showcase stuff. Like especially every Tuesday, I always get toy drops. So I do this thing called Toy Tuesdays. On Saturdays, when I'm not traveling, on Saturdays I do this DJ set called Saturday Morning Tunes, where I combine imagery and classic cartoon themes with classic hip hop. I stay super classic from late 70s to mid 90s classic hip hop. So you know, check that out if you're up. I do it at 11 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 a.m. on the West Coast. And it's always a good time. We have a great time, a great community of people that check that out. As far as productions, there's always something new coming out. I don't jinx myself. I like to just drop and then announce that I dropped things, whatever I'm producing. So look out for that as well. Between film and records, I do a lot of film scoring and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, stay tuned. Just check out my page, check out my channel, and I will always give updates and drops as they come.
Dope, man. Appreciate you, brother. And guys, the link is in the description, not only for Kwame, also my brother right here and my mentor, DJ Skeme Riches. Make sure you follow these brothers. Like I said, if you're not following them. And one thing I got to say, if you didn't know who Kwame was before today, I got to say it again. Grab that comic book that's closest to you and slap yourself 30 times, bro, because you should have known who this man is right here, man. This is legendary. This is the culture right here. This is hip-hop, man. And it meant a lot to me having this man on the show because I was a serious fan. I was there. I was
thank you.
Listening, recording the videos on VHS tapes. You know, I got the single. You know, I was wearing the clothing. I was, you know, just vibing with it, man. Just feeling it. And the ladies loved it, fellas. The ladies loved it back then, bro. That's what it was about, son. You know, so definitely, man. Had a great time, man. Once again, Kwame, I appreciate you. Shout out to DJ Wiz for making this happen, brother.
And Morbius, make sure you give Skeme my info, man. We gotta stay up too, brother.
Oh, for sure. Definitely, man. For sure. Yeah, brother's gonna connect. And hopefully we can have you on again in the future.
Yeah, whenever,
we can chop it up. We'll do a Marvel DC crossover. You know what I'm saying?
And DC always wins. Remember that. Whenever Marvel and DC always wins.
Hold on, I think I have an internet trouble right here. My connection's going bad right now.
Want.
Hold on.
Who ain't none of y'all beating Superman? Sorry,
we're about to lose it. We're about to lose the connection. He's by the bodega right now. I think they got about. Oh, what happened? Oh, we lost him. We lost Kwame. What the hell just happened? You know? Guys, once again, thank you so much for those who catching the replay. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe for more content. Y'all already know Comic Relief, where we bring comics and hip hop together. Peace. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy.
All right, y'all. Later.
Peace.